Hosting open houses, or those of us that like to door knock. Definitely leverage your ability to send the MLS listings and the information. Now you have a great excuse to knock on doors and circle prospect the area. It's not about, oh, do you know anyone that wants to buy or sell? It is about that. You want to ask those questions, of course. But at the end of the day, you have a very soft close. Mr. Homeowner, would you like my list of comparable properties delivered to your email on a regular basis so that you can feel secure about the value of your home? That's a very difficult one to say no to if you get someone in front of you, because you're providing them with some very, very valuable information. Every homeowner is concerned about the value of their home, especially in the last 2 years in some of these areas where the prices have dropped so significantly. It's definitely a point of stress to homeowners. Well, you can alleviate some of that stress. And if your area is dropping like a rock, you may be causing more stress by showing how properties are dropping, but don't worry about that. We're worried about getting your name and your information as a real estate expert in front of people on a regular basis. And that's what's going to help you be more successful. So when you're hosting that open house, obviously the buyers that come through, you're going to want them to register. You're going to want to get their information like we've been trained to do by all our brokers. What about those nosy neighbors? Well, it's important to have systems in place like your Acceleragent site where you can connect with those nosy neighbors. What brought you to our open house today? I'm just a nosy neighbor. Are you concerned about home values in the area? Yes, I am. Well, would you like my list of comparable properties delivered to your email on a regular basis so you can feel secure about the value of your home? If you don't like it, you can shut it off anytime on your own. Get their contact information and begin marketing to them with your Acceleragent website. Now, email marketing, the MLS search tools, is one of the most critical and important aspects of leveraging your Acceleragent website in your business. It is the absolute #1 reason consumers are online is property listings. And if you don't want your clients going to third-party websites and engaging with other agents, you got to beat them to the punch. You want to make sure that you're sending them all the relevant property listings on a regular basis, so they don't ever go to Realtor.com, so they never go to Trulia and engage with other agents, so they never go to, God forbid, Craigslist. Obviously, once you have them as contacts in your database. Everyone that you know, every contact that you have that likes you, of course, and is open to receive your marketing, should have at least one MLS search active and working at all times. Everyone in your database. So all of you new Property Minder users, your homework for this week, and it's absolutely critical, get your database imported into your CRM and make sure everyone in that database has at least one MLS search working at all times. Your active buyers, people that are regularly looking and writing offers, they should have an ongoing search of homes they would like to buy. These are the people that, now be careful with the ongoing search, folks. Ongoing search means once, our system queries the MLS several times a day. When a new property that matches a search criteria appears as a new listing, the system will send out an email notification. Active buyers who are regularly looking and are ready to buy buyers, they'll be appreciative of being the first to know. They don't care if they get 3 or 4 emails from you a day. They're high contact people. You want to make sure they get that information right away. People that are prospects, maybe their pipeline is 2, 3, maybe 6 months out for making a purchase, they don't want to see 5 emails from you a day. So you have control. You can set them up on a daily or a weekly search. People that are not active now should not be on an ongoing search. You want to set the frequency, the schedule to either daily or weekly so that you don't overkill them. But make no doubt about it, the people that are active buyers are going to appreciate being the first to know of listings as they come on the market. Anyone who has an active listing, people that are on the market now, they also need to have an ongoing or daily search. But now with the new map-based tools in your Xceleragent website, you can very accurately create a search for comparables that'll notify them of new listings that come on the market. This is one of the most powerful tools that will help you with price reductions available anywhere. Okay? I know that in my business a few years ago, one of the things I dreaded doing was calling people and asking for price reductions on my listings because I knew they needed it, but they didn't necessarily know they needed it. And I'd have to spend at least half hour, 45 minutes going over the comps and justifying, hey, why your property needs to adjust the price. Well, now you have a system that once a new listing hits the market, it's going to email them right away. So they'll know right away. If their crazy neighbor is selling their house for $30,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 less than their property, and they know that their neighbor's house is the same floor plan as theirs, so guess whose house isn't going to sell this weekend? Right, mine, unless I change the price. And by having the system up, it's going to notify those sellers right away of competition that comes to the marketplace. Okay, so you want to make sure your active listings are in an ongoing or a daily search of comparable properties. Now, how does this relate to driving traffic, by the way? When your clients are receiving those email notifications, they want to see the property list, it's going to drive the traffic back to your website. And even though these are people that you're already engaged with, it's very important to have good numbers on your website. It helps with all your Google rankings and so forth and so on. It also helps in your listing appointments to show that, hey, this is how much traffic I get on my website relative to others. So even though you're past clients, you already have communication with them, you still want to drive them back to your website and interact with them online. Okay. And anyone that's a homeowner, maybe they're not in active listings, but they're people that, those nosy neighbors that you met at the open house, concerned neighbors that you met while door knocking around your listing, inviting people to your open house. You want to set them up on a monthly or a bi-weekly search of comparables. Again, so they can feel secure about the value of their property. And we're setting up all these searches because we want to provide useful, relevant information. Property listings is the number one reason people are online. That's what we're sending them. We're not sending them junk. We're sending them stuff that they find valuable. All right. We want to do this on a regular basis so we keep top of mind awareness in our spheres of influence, reminding them every day or every week that, hey, I'm an active real estate agent. Send me your referrals. And we want to secure future business. That's why we're setting up all these searches. That's why we want to interact with our people, interact with our database by propagating those property listings and keep them away from those sites, the Zillows and the Trulias and the Realtor.coms. I don't want any. It's one of my pet peeves when I'm working with a buyer and they tell me, hey, Mark, hey, check out this house. I saw it's 3-bedroom, 2-bath for $599. Oh, did you see it on my website? No, I saw it on Zillow. I know I'm going to spend the next 15 minutes tracking this listing down to find out it's pending or sold. Right? If I know if they're getting information on your Property Minder Xceleragent website, it's accurate, it's up to date, and it's real. So I want to be the one being proactive and sending those systems out. So in summary of today's session, I want to get you guys back out there and back to work today. 3 steps to master, right? Driving traffic to your website, generating leads, and then following up. They all work together to form a system, right? Today we talked a little bit about some marketing basics, branding versus direct response marketing, and found out what consumers are looking for when they're looking for real estate related information online. We talked about driving traffic offline. What are some of the systems that we still use in our traditional real estate business that we can leverage to drive consumers to our website? Right, we have to give them a compelling reason to come to our site and engage, be it a property listing or a special promotional offer, a cup of coffee, a free home inspection. Maybe if you're a discount agent, a percentage back here, whatever it is, however you run your business, it's your business. But give them a compelling reason to come to your website and engage now. You want to make sure that you incorporate your URL on all your marketing materials and give people a good reason to go back to your website and engage. And MLS search. Touch your database. Make sure everyone in your database has at least one MLS search working for them at all times. Some people might have 3 or 4. It's amazing. When you find out that nosy neighbor and you send them a list of comps, well, when they go and check those comps, hey, there's a chance they may activate a new search of homes they'd like to buy next. Right? The more compelling reasons, the more traffic you get onto your website, the greater your chances of that traffic engaging with you and your services, setting up new searches. And believe me, folks, we do have the tools in your website so you know exactly what's going on. You know exactly who's coming to your site, what property listings they're looking at, so that you can follow up and engage with them and convert them into clients. Those tools are there. We're going to be talking about more of those tools throughout the month in our Internet Mastery series when it comes to lead generation and follow-up. Thank you all again for being with me here today. My name is Mark Burstein. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, tell me I did a good job. Tell me I'm off my rocker, but tell me something. Email me, mark@bursteingroup.com. I would absolutely love to hear from you. And be sure to join me on next week's session on Internet Mastery. We're going to have a little bit of review. We're going to talk about driving traffic online, how to drive traffic from other websites to your Accelerate website, how to get people to go to your site leveraging Craigslist, right? Why people go to Craigslist, they don't know any better. So we're going to talk about how to get those people off of Craigslist and onto your website, how to get people off Realtor.com and onto your website, or off of Google, so forth and so on, with pay-per-click advertising. So please join me next week for Internet Mastery Session Part 2, Driving Traffic Online, and the subsequent Internet Mastery Series webinars that we'll be having throughout the month of February. Thank you all very much. Hope you have a great day. Oh, I couldn't get away without making some kind of pitch, folks. Our referral program. Just wanted to let you guys know that if you do refer a new Acceleration client to Property Minder, you do get a month of free service. So in reality, we want you to get a year of free service. Actually, if you never had to pay for your website again, I'd be a pretty happy guy. So remember that for every new sign up that you refer that becomes a paying Property Minder Accelerate user, you get a free month of service. So 12 new clients, your next year's free. All of you guys that work in offices with 100+ agents, you should not be paying for your Accelerate website. You should be just referring people. All you have to do is share with us their contact information, and our salespeople will follow up or refer them to one of our lovely webinars. Thank you all again for being with me here today. We'll see you next week. Take care.